Holy but Jesus. Someone got bought out. Salesforce is buying data acquisition term Tableau software. They always have the same signature. All right, Tilray with a nice gap up. Why is that gapping up before earnings? Morning, Justin. Wow, AMD gapping up a wow, beautiful breakout. Look at that gap up on the overnight session. Just tremendous move there in AMD. IPR looks like it wants to get moving. Winnebago move up this morning. Good morning, Nick. This kind of feels like a buy anything day. Let's see if it remains that way. Of course, I just stepped into the office here, so we'll see. Except for DocuSign. Don't buy DocuSign. That's it. Okay. Beyond Meat. Oh, wow. Extension there. What's up, Nick? ACB. Yeah, my stocks look better than the daily movers list. There we go. All right, our buddy Pays with a tremendous gap open this morning. Everybody's in a rush to buy this morning, guys. Like I said, it's almost like a buy anything day. And this Pays trade's probably already gone. Yeah, mainly gone. Oh, can't see the volume. Yeah, I adjusted my screen yesterday for... All right, hold on a second. There you go. That should be okay. Maybe that's a little more helpful. Yeah, let's go right there. All right. Cool. Thanks, Nick. Yeah, Pays holding up here. Let's take a look. Soli, NBev, AMD. Trade desk just continuing. Winnebago ready for next leg. Xilinx was... Oh, that's team. Mongo, what a breakout on Friday. Up 15%. You guys remember, I was talking about MongoDB. Spectacular breakout on Mongo. Roku's still hanging around. Nothing wrong there. Yeah, most everything at this stage looks great. Nasdaq up 1%. 4 minutes after the open. Gapped up yesterday. Pretty good. Yeah, you can buy more Qs if you want. I buy the TQQQ, which is triple the Nasdaq. So the Nasdaq's up 1% here. The TQQQs will be up 3.44% today. So I buy these triple the Nasdaq. Qs are up 1.09. TQQQs are up 3.44. So good stuff for the TQs. But I watched the futures. Nice gap up on AMD. That is some bullish action on this name. Looks like sitting there right near all-time highs. If this gets a gap fill somehow, that will probably be a buying opportunity for this name, depending how it fills it. If it fills it low and slow like this, we may end up with another trend line scenario. But that was your handle and your cup and handle. So, or I'm sorry, that was your base. That's your flat base. If we get down there, that seems a little odd. But getting down to the gap level seems opportunistic. Technology, Nick. It's technology. So Xilinx coming out of lows off the 200-day moving average was kind of hawking this for a little bit for potential bounce play. Hasn't had a lot of volume come in. Not my favorite play, but this could get back up. About 24% towards recent highs, about 137. Yeah, let's go check them out. Let's check out Tesla, up 5% today. Of course, yesterday was a down day, so it doesn't quite feel like 5% from the chart. Goes off the close, not the open. Not much has changed in Tesla. It still looks like there's some pressure here, but the market forces are doing what they do and just kind of curling Tesla up right now. Yeah, Amazon. We kind of mentioned Amazon the other day, looking to be in a pretty good spot, buying a little bit lower on this pullback. And it looks like Friday, Amazon ended up about 2.8%, which is pretty good. Very giant stock. Microsoft cleared $1 trillion market cap. It's a flat base breakout for Microsoft. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's your flat base breakout, 130, or whatever the top. I guess they would consider this the top right here. So 131.47. So we're just slightly out of that base breakout for Microsoft here. Yep, definitely qualifies as a flat base. And yesterday's breakout volume. Yeah, looked like it qualified as a 40% above average volume. So that's really good. I mean, that's Microsoft break. That's a traditional breakout in Microsoft, which is pretty phenomenal. NVIDIA, you mentioned NVIDIA. Let's take a look at that. So yeah, NVIDIA, it's still down here near the lows. We're not near the highs at all. Notice the major difference. So this would be more, more of like a quote-unquote value play because you're not buying it near highs. You're buying it near lows. And Apple's right in the middle there. It's not at the highs. It's not like NVIDIA's down here. Microsoft's down here. Apple's stuck in the middle. I don't know. As the chart shows, it's like a 50-50 scenario from here. Not my favorite setup. I know a lot of people play it, but I don't think it's a very good buy. Nor would I short Apple here either. I'd probably wait for more time to pass until it gives you some kind of a more clear setup. It is just bouncing out of these lows. So just looks like 4 or 5 straight up days. So give it some time to consolidate before you consider an entry on Apple. Pays holding up there pretty good. Solely. What are some other big ones? Let's look at some other big ones. Let's look at Facebook. Bouncing off the 200-day moving average. Look at that, straight down to the 200-day. Bounced right off of it. There's support at the 200-day for Facebook. Coming up to the 50-day moving average. They'll be selling some up there. What other big ones do we have? How's Chegg doing? Chegg's doing pretty good. Google. Looking at the bigs. I guess that's Google. Wow, the big gap down. We don't really follow Google. That's a pretty tremendous. That's two gaps down. I'm not quite sure why those occurred. Oh, regulation concerns. Yeah, I would avoid this. This is an avoid for me. This is not a bullish looking scenario. This is like an M pattern, which is the opposite of a W pattern. And so, yeah, I would just, same with Apple, I would just let this thing wear itself out and play around and do what it's going to do. I'd be much happier in other stocks at this point in time. I mean, look, there's an opportunity it could roar right back to the highs like every stock in the market, but right now there's no. I mean, look, you do have a little bit of a support right here at about the $1,000 level, but it could chop around down here for a long time. This is essentially 1/4 of Apple chopping around during the latter half of 2018. So if you want your money to chop around for a while, you can go ahead and shove it in Google because there's no major expectation of it reversing off of this. Man, Nasdaq 1.33% now. Great out of these lows. Look at that. Awesome. Roku with a red day. That's interesting. MongoDB going up 3.5%. 3.7%. There we go. Good volume this morning, too. Look at all the volume stepping in. Looks pretty good. Better than yesterday's volume at the open, at least. So, MongoDB rocketing higher. Another 4% today. A little too elevated to buy. AMD up 3.6%. Pretty good gap this morning on AMD. That's right, Justin. The market bounced because you bought an Xbox. Yeah. Yeah, this thing is in fuego right there, my friend. Boom. Nice gap up on earnings. Did sell off a little bit here towards the end of the day. And gapping up a little bit here today, 10%. So, very hot IPO. No, don't jump in front of a running train there, Rob. Kind of like catching a falling knife. You wait for a setup. You guys, you have to wait for setups when you go to trade. Something's got to get you in. It can't just be you think this, you think that. It doesn't work out very well that way. Oh, nice, Justin. What do you do? So we had Pays here a while back. Looks like a little bit of gap up this morning. No continuation yet, but our best ones here today are AMD and MongoDB. As my list moves around on me, so I can't click on Mongo. Those are our two best ones today in terms of recent runs and continuation. Let's go through them kind of one by one here on the actionable list, and let's see if we can take anything away. Oh, that's cool, Justin. Wow. So designer, so Would you design the individual? Do you design the individual components and pieces? Are you a scene designer? There's got to be, man. I got to imagine because my family plays Zelda, and I just got to imagine the team and the gameplay logic behind some of that. It's just amazing to watch. Like Zelda's a story game, so it's anyway. It's just amazing a lot of the stuff that happens. The team's got to be huge. All right, so Pays here having a huge day. Big gap up right there. Probably not a buyable gap up, already up 5.44%. Could run into a gap fill today. Could be in a number of days. Hard to say. So that one's probably not very actionable. INSG here, stuck in this channel for a while. Let's get rid of those time axis on the right side of this chart as well. There we go. So INSG is still stuck in this large channel. This could go on for quite some time, this large of a channel, which would bode well for another breakout at some stage, but not quite yet. MongoDB up a little bit more, 4.4, out of a sideways base breakout. We talked about it in a number of places. Actually, no, Mongo was one we kind of missed until the breakout day, but which is fine. Oh, that's cool. How'd you get involved in that, man? That's a cool industry. You got to go to college for that, or you just find jobs at Xbox or game design companies. And anyway, that's pretty cool. I kind of view that as almost like the professional sports level of design and stuff like that. It's tremendous stuff they do on the video games. All right, Winnebago here. Winnebago probably one of the more actionable plays today if you're looking for something. Pretty big breakout, although earnings are coming up here, it looks like. So there's dividend and there's earnings behind those dividends. There we go. Earnings on 6/19, so coming up in about 1 week. And hopefully it doesn't extend my chart right there. So that's good stuff for Winnebago. Is that today's volume? No, that's today's. Okay, so pretty good volume comparatively on the 5-minute chart, but on the daily chart, we're still obviously pretty low. But that's pretty good. It's 4% out of the lows here. I think this probably would qualify as a flat base. And it would qualify as a flat base. So, yeah, definitely a flat base here for Winnebago. And potentially moving on up. That's a fairly actionable stock right there, as a matter of fact. Xilinx, we mentioned, bouncing off the 200-day moving average down here. See that one kind of breaking a trend there the other day. No major volume today. It's bigger than we've seen in the past on the open. We'll see if that can sustain itself. Market looks like it's taking a rest here at 1.1% up. And AMD with a gap up, closing on all-time highs. Makes sense there'd be a little bit of distribution up here. You can see the big turnaround play AMD's had up here. So maybe the market's come quite a ways and quite a little bit. We've come up 8% from the lows here on the Nasdaq. So it would make sense to have some kind of a little pause here on some of these names. It would make sense that it would be now based on everyone getting in the market on a Friday. Paylocity sitting towards highs. I'm not sure if there's any kind of major base here. Doesn't appear to be a major base. So there's a flat base right here for Paylocity happening back in April. We ran up a little bit. So, yeah, nothing major going on right here. Paylocity, not a buyable pattern. That's cool, Justin. Yeah, some people are just good at what they do, I guess. From like an early age, just self-taught. Yeah, I got my friend's kid is he was 7 and he's drawing every time he comes over, I'm like, hey, draw something for me, and I save it in case he does something. I don't know. You never know what kids are gonna do, but he's an artist from day one. Some people are just like that. Not saying you're not. I don't know your stuff, but all right. Hexo here with an interesting pattern. Kind of bucking the market trend, doing its own thing. That could bode well if it reverses. Let's see what this is going to be a base structure of some sort. 26% down. This would have to be a cup and handle or a double bottom base. So we'll see how this one plays out. Nothing major going on with Hexo. I mean, that shouldn't even really be in my actionable list right now. Should be my global watch list, but should not be in my actionable list at this stage. Workday. This guy's just been slowly moving up. No major base here to speak of. I mean, hasn't been for. You can probably consider that a base right there. Probably the same thing back in early April. Also kind of a nothing pattern going on right there. Atlassian team breaking out all-time highs. You mentioned potential ascending base right there, though I don't know if it's quite accurate. Trying to slowly move into all-time highs. Not in a very convincing fashion, though. But some of these, when they break out, you just kind of have to keep them. And this would be one of them, even through a shakeout like this, if you would have bought over here. We got Fox. Fox there, we mentioned that one came down to the 200-day. Stalled. We've been talking about buying that a little bit, and it's bouncing up to the 50-day already. We'll see if that acts as resistance. If that does, that would not be good for the market overall. Of course, Fox isn't really a leader. You have to look at Apple for failure at the 50-day for some potential leadership in a continuation of the bear market. We're just at the 50-day on Apple. Let's check out Amazon. Looks like we're also at the 50-day. So if we fail here at the 50-day on a lot of these stocks, that would not be good. This market could roll over. Obviously, Microsoft is above the 50-day into highs already. That's another big one. Facebook at the 50-day. Facebook under the 50-day. So we've yet to break through the 50-day on a majority of major leading stocks. That is a sign of a little bit of caution. Winnebago, great mover today. MongoDB stalling at highs of the day today. Pretty good volume. We'll see what. Yeah, look at that. 22 minutes into the trading session, volume's already half of average, so should be a pretty good little continuation here from Mongo as long as this holds up here. Xilinx. So there's Fox at the 50-day. ESNT, we've talked about this one, double bottom base, and then a potential base on base pattern here. There's your flat base. There's your breakout, although albeit not in a convincing fashion at this stage. And there's Trade Desk into all-time highs. Really past the Bible stage probably. Yeah, 7.5% above the prior high. Definitely far from a Bible stage. And no major pattern here to buy off of either. I guess 1, 2, 3, 4. Never did quite complete the 5 weeks for a flat base. It was also too deep for a flat base. So this was really a nothing pattern. This was a better breakout. This would have been a double bottom pattern. So you're up 66% out of this double bottom from earlier here in the year on Trade Desk. So it's pretty extended at this stage of the game. I would definitely not recommend not buying into stock at this stage without a base. AMD reversing currently. Chipotle Mexican Grill. This thing looks like it's trying to break over all-time highs back here from 2018. And is basing right before it attempts it, at least. At least that's what it looks like. And it looks like you do have a flat base here for CMG. This would be a turnaround play for a stock that had big issues on, the salmonella outbreaks and everything. And today with pretty minimal volume, I would say probably in line with average. Not really super bullish, but it may make a run for it here. We've seen it. We've seen in the past here this stock kind of go for it. See there that one green candle here, break out and pull back. We're up in those areas again, kind of dangerous territory to buy CMG. So if you want to buy it, this would be a potential breakout opportunity. But volume doesn't appear to be on the side of the bulls at this stage of the game. So it's going to be probably a little difficult to buy that. But you could take a smaller position if you wanted to do that. This would be a breakout attempt. I'm not sure about its leadership capabilities. Let's check out some IBD stuff. Check out the stats on CMG. 93 composite rating, 96 relative strength rating. Both good numbers. EPS is a 63. Okay, so rank number 4 in its industry group, which is their industry group rank is 47 out of 197. So that's pretty good, not great. 60% EPS change last quarter, 3 quarters, 50% average EPS growth rate, 30% estimate current quarter. Looks like they're surprising to the upside recently, which is probably on purpose. 3 years EPS growth is 31%. Sales is 14. Sales growth rate 8%, which is not good. Margins 7.4, which is not good, but that's already built in. B- accumulation distribution, which is good. 7% change in funds owning stock. 5 quarters of increasing fund ownership, which is pretty good. So overall, not bad. Not bad at all. Looks like it's wanting to run a little bit further here. Just a little bit. Not a lot more, but want to see some elevated volume before this thing finally gets rocking. Although I will say, like, look at those days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straight up days. Big up days, too. Very consistent volume. So they're just picking at this thing. Someone likes something about this. Nice run up here earlier in the year. Look at that. Very nice, tight weeks. These are weeks up here, guys. These aren't days. Then you move into our basing area. Now if we move out of our basing area here, that would be advantageous. That'd be pretty good. So here you have a double bottom base. Your breakout actually is here. So our week here, let's go see if we can find that particular place on the chart. All right, so you can see that's where we broke out on, tried breaking out on this day, which is not traditional breakout volume. We did have breakout volume before this thing ran up significantly also out of the lows. And then right there, no major breakout volume. So this thing, maybe this thing's buyable, but without breakout volume, it's hard for me to get very bullish on anything. But that is a base. It's kind of a wobbly base because it looks like a bullhorn almost. But it could work. This would be considered a broadening wedge by Bolkowski, and he does have those written down as bullish bases. So Chipotle Mexican Grill doing pretty good. Any good spot here? Twilio. Shoot, you're gonna give me all that room now that I moved my chart? Yes, you are. You suck. So the second I move my chart, what if I can lock it somehow? Keep the zoom. Keep time zoom. Oh, okay. That's not what I'm looking for. All right, so I'm on IIPR now for some reason. There's Twilio. So this one here, not really, no basing here. Well, there's basing, but no extremely classical chart pattern that you can pull out of this one probably. Maybe another flat base, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, with some failed breakouts here. So it looks like it could still be buyable on Twilio. This thing doesn't look like it's done going up. A little extended to 7.86 from here, though, so not sure if that's so good for getting into. Workday, similar situation. Chegg coming out of lows here. We talked about this thing potentially being a double bottom with your breakout point here, so you can keep a lookout for Chegg at 40.27. Went over the fundamentals the other day, which were really good. And Chegg is capable of having some very high volume days, so we could have a breakout volume day at some stage. The volume at the moment doesn't appear to support that, but maybe tomorrow or the day after there. 17%, so that probably would qualify it towards a double bottom base more than a flat base. And that would be your buy point on Chegg right there. So if you guys want to put a plan together for that one, that's a leading stock that looks like it may be trying to make another move as well at some point in the near future here. One of the more actionable ones here recently. And IBD likes there are 20 to 25% rallies. Yes, James.
Can we watch Digimon?
Yeah, you guys can check it out. Are you guys dressed? Yeah, teeth brushed? Moving fast today. All right. See if maybe Chegg's got something actionable here. At 48. A little bit light on the... It'd have to run pretty quick. Let me make sure 48 would be 20% on this thing. Yeah, math works. I guess it would be towards 48.63. Could be a little more than that. Nasdaq getting back up there, 1 1/4. Trying to curl back up. Chegg also trying to move back up. Yeah, not good going out. Another 100 days here. They got a lot of premium built into this thing. A lot. It's not even a it's not even a wide pattern or anything like that. All right, everybody. IIPR. This one's already broken out. We mentioned that one. Look for a pullback to buy. So this one probably actually looks like it's still buyable, about 4% from here. Good breakout volume the other day. You could see right there. We did sell off a little bit. Well, quite a bit, but there was a lot of volume in the morning. Oh, that was the day. Yeah, here's your breakout day. Is that the breakout day? No, that's the breakout day. Yes, we rallied pretty hard on good volume. And the rest of it was very light in terms of volume. So that's a little bit interesting. We didn't really have sustained buying, but we are kind of slowly moving higher. So doing this job at least. Looks like it's still within a buyable range for IIPR. And at 94, you're looking. I've got it here at about 111. Looks like that's about 20%. And from here, that's not very good for my style trading. Funko. Yeah.
Digimon going to Netflix not working. I did what you said, but it's not working.
You did what I said? What did I say to do?
You said when it's on, press the red button, and I pressed it.
Hold on, guys.
Right
All right, I'm back. All right, Nasdaq 1.33%. So we're going back towards highs here. That's pretty good. MongoDB up 6% today, guys. It's a great continuation after a stellar breakout day. Straight up. Look at that. That's awesome. INSKC. Roku taking it in today. Could be looking for a buying opportunity on Roku here in a little bit if it can actually sustain a downtrend, which I doubt. It probably won't. Won't give you a second good look, probably. So a couple opportunities in the market. Not a tremendous amount. Let's take a look at, got a few minutes here. Let's look at the IBD 50. This is a good time to go through 1.4% on the Nasdaq now. Good time to go through the IBD paper. Ooh, look at that. Karma GT Rivero. All new Karma Rivero GT looks pretty dope. That looks great. Yeah, that's awesome. Marketing confirmed uptrend. Leveraging DevOps. That's interesting. All right, so sector leaders is a list that IBD puts together. It's just an excellent list. We've got Atlassian, KL, Kirkland Gold, which had a breakout, extended from a cup and handle breakout, so that's out of the buy zone according to IBD. Solid support, reclaims 215 for Paycom. We actually don't have Paycom up on our list. ServiceNow, support at 10-week line, yields alternative entry down here. So we can take a look at ServiceNow. That's not on my list. And bouncing back, volume a little small. And no major base here. There may be a base, but it's not. Yeah, it's not a base. It's just an extension from your base down here, and it's just there's your 10-week moving average. You could buy that on the way back through on the upside right there. But yeah, no major volumes there. Looks like they just stopped selling it. They took some profits there and then just kind of bounced back up. So already up here towards highs. Do what you will with now. Not my favorite one at this particular moment in time. Yeah, Litecoin looking unstoppable. We've been on top of Litecoin for a while in the power hour. We actually had it. We had a buy on it down here. So we were kind of talking yesterday as the market was taking it on the chin about getting some as it came back up through this trend line right there. So yeah, Litecoin looking probably the best crypto out there at the moment. I did take a peek at crypto before I jumped on here. So yeah, Litecoin looking really good. Probably will get some continuation out of this base here as well. And Bitcoin doing pretty good there. We mentioned we've been following this potential head and shoulders here for Bitcoin. So we'll see if that works out. But yeah, Litecoin doing good stuff. Upland Software, that's new. UPLD, let's take a look at that. Support at 10-week line, yields alternative entry. Oh yeah, it's already gone. 1.45% for the Nasdaq. MongoDB leading my board again. It led on Friday too, 5.6%. Good stuff for Mongo. Winnebago right there too. Man, look at that. Look at that extension this morning. That's a nice turnaround play. Ted kind of gave us this really early, and hopefully he's still in it. 30% right now if Ted's still in it. Ted, I hope you're still in it. Almost 1.5% for the Nasdaq, guys. Good move. INSG still in the middle of the base. All right, let's take a look at the paper before I get distracted again. Squirrel. Upland looking okay. Not really the best. SSNC down towards lows, but is a sector leader. Consolidating below 10-week line. No new entry in sight. Absolutely. So Atlassian support at 10-week line gives alternative entry, but later stage. That means that it's already had a very extended run-up 4-week set entry for Paycom. Let's take a look at that. Which looks like it's already gone. So there's your 4 weeks tight. 1, 2, 3, 4. And it's already well extended. This would be your entry point, up about 5% from there. If it comes back down, that could be a nice entry point for Paycom. Other than that, it's already extended. So Paycom, pretty nice there. But yeah, already pretty extended. You probably could take a flyer position if it comes down and tries to fill the gap. If it comes down and fills the gap, you're pretty lucky. Paycom, look how steady this thing's been. It's just a very steady mover. These bases are very small. Extension, then a base back down. Doesn't undercut anything, and then just continues. But that has been a stellar mover for a long time now. That is a sexy looking car, though. All right, let's check out the IBD 50. Let's see, there's another list I want to look at. Big Cap 20. Let's take a look at Big Cap 20. Big Cap 20 is a very large cap stocks. Also a very good list that IBD puts out. That's not what I wanted to do. That's what I wanted to do. All right, so what we got here? We have INCY. Salesforce back above the 10-week line. We've got ServiceNow, PayPal, supported 10-week line yields, follow-on entry, extend it into profit-taking zone. For HEI, we don't have anything on HEI. Manufacturers jet engine component parts and electronic systems. Interesting. Vive's their number one, though. INCY could be interesting. Let's take a look at that one. Almost 1.5% now for the Nasdaq. INC interesting, but definitely going the wrong direction. Someone go get INCY and tell them which way we all should be going as a group as we go through this field trip. That's really what that feels like right now. So that one, yeah, not so good. We've got HEI. I like to look at my chart, so I may just keep that on the other screen there. Look at the move on that thing on my weekly chart. Holy bejesus. Coming from a very long multi-year base down here at about 30. Now we're up at 130. So full 200% plus higher right there. Just tremendous move up. And I mean, this is just parabolic at this stage. Although I don't know what its market cap is, but A+ accumulation distribution, yeah, you think? Wow. Must have some really good jet engines. All right, GPN. I'm just going to go through one by one here. Also looking like it's going parabolic. Never really stalled at all. Kind of, I guess it stalled a little bit, but not that much. Lockheed Martin. This thing looks definitely like a very large double bottom base. Breaks out from 3 weeks tight at 34.40. 344. I'm sorry, 344.90. I can't read. 344.90. So right there, I guess, is their breakout point. This thing coming out of a much larger consolidation. And that would still qualify as a cup. Even in IBD land, it would reset the base count for sure. They're considering this probably a first stage base. Although, like I said, technically that probably wouldn't, unless they consider this a no, it never tried to break out. They just say 3 weeks tight. They don't mention what kind of base it broke out from. Just a 3 weeks tight pattern from nowhere, I guess. Solid 1.5 on the Nasdaq at this point. Yeah, LMT, fairly interesting. Northrop Grumman looks extended. Synthes, Twilio, CDNS. There's a lot here. That's nice. MCSI, already extended. Copart, already extended. MasterCard, already. already extended in a profit-taking zone, actually. Visa bounces off 10 weeks line. Comcast below 10-week line is flat base forms. Hey, a flat base is forming. So there's your flat base for Comcast in much of a kind of a larger consolidation level here over the past year and a half. Looks like that has more work to do. Probably won't be actionable for a while. Intuit. Let's take a look at Intuit. What you doing here, buddy? So you have a potential flat base. They say sketches base on base pattern, 272.24 buy point. That means it didn't quite get up 20%. It did not, up 16%. Forming a second base here. And 272.24 buy point, which is above this high. So could be potential for Intuit. I mean, that's not bad at all. Let's take a look at Intuit. Above 1.5% now for the Nasdaq. Good continuation today, man. Just stellar. Just stellar continuation. All right, let's take a look at our 20% B from here. If we did go super bullish. $327.23 or $327. There we go. From here, this one's not bad. If you want to enter this early, I like this is pretty good from a risk-reward perspective, at least in terms of my options. Depends how much time you want to give it. Whoa, that's tremendous returns for Intuit. Wow. If you want to go out of the money, that's a lot of risk, though. I have to explore this trade further. Oh, this thing can get going. All right, so that's Intuit. That's the big cap 20. That's probably the best looking one right now. Everything else is very extended. This one's still... Yeah, Visa and MasterCard always do good. Remember we were down here, I said they never come back to their 200-day moving average, and they usually don't. So, yeah, there's the weekly. I'm always zoomed out, Justin. I'm zoomed in and zoomed out at all times. Not doing bad. INS. Ooh, you're not having a good day. Market's not liking you today, buddy. Neither with Netflix. They're just selling off Netflix. They're taking what they like and what. Oh, look at that! Winnebago overtaking MongoDB as leading our charts today. I guess MongoDB just came back. Good extension, another 6% for Mongo. This is going to go on for an 8-week hold rule since it broke out so far so fast. And getting there. I think it's 20%. Let me Google the 8-week hold rule. 8-week hold rule. If a stock gains over 20% from the ideal buy point within 3 weeks of a proper breakout, hold it for at least 8 weeks. The 8-week hold rule helps you identify such stocks and helps you sit tight so you can reap potential rewards. So a lot, yeah, this could within what 3 weeks? It's doing it within, maybe doing it a lot sooner than that. You know what, Justin? I can't. I don't know if I can argue with you against that strategy. I mean, really. Look, at some point these things will get very extended, but I don't know when that's going to be. From $10 to $172. I mean, that of course was in 2008, obviously. Yeah, so I can't argue with you a tremendous amount. It's hard to see. It's hard to see how you can really go wrong with that strategy. I mean, who's going to come in and compete with them, really? Visa and MasterCard, dude, they're everything. Everything to the payments market. So, well, it's already been 10 years. I don't know if they'll run for another 10, but yeah, it's really weird. They're not your normal company. Unless some crypto comes along and just obliterates the payment network, but that is so much legwork to get every person almost on the planet. I mean, I wonder what their growth strategy is in terms of, yeah, I don't know. Crazy. Crazy, crazy. You can see the volume just gets smaller. It's because no one sells this thing. They just continually buy it. Whenever someone sells it, they just buy it and hold it. I wonder who the big holders of them are. Probably the Bilderbergs. All right, AMD looks like holding its own, holding that gap up here a little bit, still up 3%. That's not too bad. All right, let's get a little bit deeper. Let's go to the IBD 50 now. IBD special report. Is that a? Yeah, that's an advertisement. I thought it would be. All right, IBD 50. Let's get a run on this guy. Most of these are already going to be on other stock lists. The IBD 50 is computer generated, all kinds of combinations of lots of lists on IBD. So VEEV is the number one stock that they have. I'm sorry, KL. My bad. VEEV's number 3. It's just the one I pulled up first. KL's number 1. That looks like that's having a bad day today. Atlassian is number 2 with the symbol team. Looks like it's trying to get extended here, which I'm not mad at it. Easily could keep going here. No major volume on this last leg up. That's a little bit concerning. But we'll see how that one plays out. Upland is number 4. UPLD. Upland's number 4 here. Forms a rare ascending base. So this is a base breakout today, ladies and gentlemen. 5074 buy point. Pretty close to extended, if not extended. So they're calling this a rare extended base. Let's walk through this, guys. So here's one base. Underneath here. Here's your second base. Right there. And then here's your third base. Your buy point is right there. So they're calling this an ascending base. And like I said, I think each base has to be, there's 20%, 17. I thought each base had to be about 10 to 15%. Interesting. Interesting. But Upland, looks like they do develop cloud-based enterprise work management software to plan, manage, and execute projects and work. 5074 buy point. So that is potentially just breaking out. Good volume here today. I think it's already at average volume. Yeah, right there. So this would qualify for breakout as long as it closes, above this breakout point, even if it closes down, down lower than it is right now. So keep an eye on Upland. I think I'll put that on my actionable list. Let's take a look at that Litecoin. That's pulling in a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. Not much at all, though. All right, Upland, PAGS, extended within a larger consolidation. Support at 10-week line for ServiceNow. We looked at that one already. Paycom, solid support, reclaims 4-week tight entry, extended into profit-taking zone from breakout for HEI. In buy range for Planet Fitness. After bouncing off of 10-week line near 75. How the heck did my chart get out of whack? I don't even remember doing that. In buy range after bouncing off of 10-week line. What does that mean, in buy range? Well, regardless here for Planet Fitness, I mean, it just does good stuff. So apparently people like to work out. 1, 2, 3, 4. 10%. That could be gone on to form a flat base after a 34% run. We could be in the middle of forming a flat base here for Planet Fitness. Looks like one more week and we'll actually finish that base. So 1, 2, 3, 4. They don't consider that week 1. They consider that week 1. No, I don't, Rob. I don't know anything about it. I see their freaking billboards everywhere, though. ESNT is in a buy zone. No, they get thrown out for grunting. So it's the you're saying it's Planet Fitness for weak people. Is that what you're saying? I have not seen that. It's pretty interesting. Seriously? Oh, screw that, man. Yeah, I'll check it out. That sounds horrible. It should be called shouldn't be called Planet Fitness then. It should be called Planet Barely Moving. Because if you're just there to cycle, go to a spin class. But yeah, they teach everyone you got to make noises when you work out. It's how you get the extra little oomph. They teach my 8-year-old to ki in karate class. All right, so ESNT here. I lost it. Where'd it go? There it is. Retakes 4804 flat base entry in buy zone. Okay, so they're considering that your flat base entry right there. I was looking at that. So either way, ESNT still appears to be buyable. In pretty much any universe you're in, ESNT is potentially buyable. What's the other one I threw up here a minute ago? My short-term memory sucks sometimes. Was it Upland? No, that really wasn't. Upland leads our charge here today now. Those options are going to be off the charts in terms of that. MongoDB, 5.71%. Come on, break 180. Give me a pop. Daddy needs a new pair of shoes. Pays, INSG team. Atlassian just wants. Atlassian, great company. Xilinx right there, trying to bounce off that lower 200-day moving average. All right, where's that other freaking stock that I threw up here? Was it Chegg I was looking at? Chegg didn't have good. How's Snap doing after its breakout the other day? Yeah, there's that breakout on Snap. It did have a great follow-through day the other day, too. So that was its breakout day. Already having a great follow-through day. Very tight here. Yeah, Snap's probably gonna go back up to its ICO level at some point if this keeps up. This kind of reminds me a little bit of Twitter, and Twitter hasn't reached IPO highs either. So Twitter would stall about here, and then it rolled over, and it's been putting in garbage moves ever since. Man, what's that one I was looking at? Was it Upland? I don't think it was Upland. Oh, you know what? I think it's on my... Oh, it's Intuit. Yeah, this should be on my actionable list. That's why I can't find it. What the hell? I thought I was typing something. Yeah, there's Intuit. Intuit looks intriguing around here. Look at the in the middle of its parabolic run here. Got some nice basing. Base on base pattern. Could potentially continue higher there. I do like that Intuit chart. All right, I threw that up here. That's good. All right, HRI, Planet Fitness. Let's go on and check out some of these other ones. ESNT we talked about. I mentioned PayPal add-on buy point at the 50-day moving average. That's obviously going to be extended. Yes, it is. Extended from the 50-day breakout right there for sure. Still back in all-time highs. Maybe take a position. Doesn't look like it's too extended out.
Daddy,
Yes.
I don't want to go to school.
Hold on, guys. All right.
Hey, Daddy, can you please brush my teeth?
Yeah, I'll do it in a bit. Sure, I'll help you out. All right, guys, I got to go here in a little bit. I'm not quite done going through the IBD 50, but we'll finish it up tomorrow. Well, when I look at these IPOs, I at least like to think they're going to get back up to the IPO price. That's kind of my thought. Whether it happens or not is a different issue. Like with Twitter, I was thinking. That's why I mentioned it with Twitter, because I was looking for. I guess it did get back to the IPO price here, but not the highs from the IPO. So yeah, I always like to, I guess, kind of imagine it's going to get back up to the IPO high. But so you see, it'll at least move for a little bit. But Twitter never quite it rallied up. So if you consider this the high, we still haven't come close to hitting that. We're still way down here, about 50% lower at 38. So yeah, I guess it did hit its IPO level, but I mean, Snap could. I would really. It just depends on the fundamental story, whether it's, and it could be all of those instant chatting services, like Snap, Instagram, Twitter. Maybe they're just not extraordinarily sustainable from a business model perspective. We don't get true numbers on Instagram. They're kind of wrapped into Facebook's numbers. So they have that benefit. Twitter does not. So Snapchat and Twitter, from my understanding, there may be some Chinese companies that have a slightly different business model. But, I mean, it could. Yeah, it could get back up there. It just may have a little bit of work to do before that. But I would like to see them profitable. And I don't even know if they're profitable. Let me look them up real quick. And then I'm going to get out of here. All right, so 82 composite rating for Snap and a 98 relative strength rating. 98% overvalued. 41% less EPS change last quarter. They are not profitable yet. You can see all the negatives here on the earnings as well as over here on IBD. 3-year sales growth rate 117%. So looks like they're getting there, but yeah. See, that's the problem with some of these companies. It's just an $18 billion market cap. It's crazy. It's crazy. So yeah, it's hard to say that it'll get up towards IPO, but that's what I like to think. I guess I have bias from my leading stocks that do get back up towards those prior highs. With an IPO, it may be a little bit different. Okay. I got to go, guys. Have a good day. I'll see you tomorrow.